Hello? Do we have sound now? Okay. Don't know why. It just wanted to kind of spaz out for a second. Anyway, now that we have sound, we'll start over again looking at the prices. So, Bitcoin's down just under 3%. Ethereum's down 3.5%. Most of the top cryptos are down 3 to 5%, 6% for Chainlink. Just little pullbacks, nothing to panic about, nothing to write home about either. You have some of these stupid gainers up here they came out yesterday, so of course they're up 33,000%. It's garbage. So it's all down a little bit, nothing to panic about. You got Cointelegraph, they've got some news, nothing monumental at all. So I would go to Cointelegraph if you want to keep up with the news, but there's nothing today. Pakistan central bank reportedly wants to ban crypto. Okay, yeah. What does Pakistan not want to ban? They don't want their citizens to do anything. So not really crunk about Pakistan and their crap. I don't see they probably have like 8 people buying crypto over there anyway. But what I do want to talk about though is liquidations. One of the reasons we've got price moving down right now is the liquidations. Look at this. So, people that had placed short bets against Bitcoin in the last 24 hours, like $6 million worth, okay? But here's the real kicker. People who went leverage long over $10 million just in the whole crypto market, over $83 million worth of bets have been liquidated, meaning that people placed a leverage long. They used money that wasn't theirs to bet on this, going in one direction or the other, and it happened to move against them, so they just lost their ass. And here's the spooky part that I do not like, and I think if we keep doing research, and I know for a fact I don't even like want to dig into this too much, but you got Binance. Binance being one of the biggest leveraged platforms out there. They'll let anybody and their brother come get 100 times leverage. It's insane. So Binance holding most of the market share, they're the ones which is unregulated. They don't have a home office. I'm not crazy about their CEO. He's always doing some shady stuff. We turned around on the Bitcoin chart last night and started getting some action yesterday, upward price movement. Of course, everybody runs into the market. Even newbies that don't know how to trade are like, okay, this is it. That's the bottom. So they go in, they place their $100 worth of long bets to the upside, but they're using 50, 100 times leverage. So when that gets over 60% and you start realizing that 3/4 or so of the market ends up being placing long bets on leverage, how do these platforms make their money? They make their money in transaction fees and people losing the bets, going wrong. So I believe, my opinion here, that these exchanges that are holding all of your crypto and your money, I believe they take your money, go right around, since they know what the percent in the market is, they can go place a couple $1 million short bet in the opposite direction and push the market down, therefore liquidating you and causing you to have to cover and trade, and then they get all of their fees. So when everyone's just hodling, everyone's got their crypto just sitting on it, nobody's doing anything, they're not making any money. So they have to force people to trade in one direction or the other. Anytime we're in an uptrend, everybody gets confident and starts placing long bets with money that's not theirs. And that's where they make their money, with these big, sharp 40% declines. And they wipe out hundreds of millions and billions of dollars at a time. Now, in a downtrend, back 2018, when we had that prolonged downtrend, everybody and their brothers like, oh, it just keeps going down, I'm going to place a short bet. And they did it with 10, 20, 30 times leverage. And then all of a sudden we got these $6,000 to $9,000 pumps out of nowhere. And so you always seem to watch people get liquidated going the opposite direction. The market's still so small, and that's part of the regulation issue. I'm okay. I'm open for regulation. We need it. because some of these exchanges like Binance that don't adhere to any rules by anybody, that's what they're doing. He's one of the richest crypto holders in the world now, supposedly. So yeah, a bunch of people's got wiped out. Just that big run, the shorts got smashed yesterday, and then all of a sudden everybody swung to the long position, and bam, we had a 4% drop. Everyone got liquidated. It's a game. You win this game by not trying to trade constantly up and down the daily moves. You win this game by sitting on it. So anyway, I wanted to just make that little rant real quick. Now let's look at some charts. So Bitcoin here, daily candle just closed. And yes, after we had this little reversal here, 2 follow through price action candles looking great. Our MACD is still showing bullish divergence. Matter of fact, we just started to turn green. But we had this big bearish engulfing candle come right in. That's just not what you want to see right here. You needed to see more follow through price action. Maybe it's just traders trying to take a little profit from this move, $4,000 or $5,000 move, and that's fine. We've started to open up green today. Hopefully we get this big, nasty, beautiful, bullish engulfing candle that plays out along with your MACD and your RSI. I'm still not worried about the F cross. I think it's garbage. So we got to keep an eye on it. That's the daily. The 4 hour, we're starting to build a little negative momentum, but all we really want to see is it to make a lower level, and then we have bullish divergence on the 4 hour. So you want to see a low, a higher low, and then run again. Ideally, I'd like to have seen it stay above the 50 moving average. That'd been great. It's not doing it. But still on the weekly, look at Bitcoin on the weekly, fellas. Look at this right here. If we hit any point here soon start turning and losing some negative momentum, and the sellers get exhausted, and the buyers start coming back in, look at this double bottom that we had here. It's eerily similar. So we had a low, the exact same low. And what happened after that second retest of that low? Look at this move. Look at this massive move. So we had a little up, down, big head, little shoulder, and it didn't play out like everybody thought it was with the head and shoulders, me included. I thought we were going way down. It just became a double bottom and ran again. So now we have one low. We've tested the same low. And I hope that we see maybe some sideways price action for a few days, maybe a week or two even. And then we run again. And at that point, if we start to turn and run again, we will have bullish divergence on the weekly, and that's one of the strongest forms. It can go nuts. So Bitcoin, I'm not stressing. Don't worry about it. Right now, our weekly candle, we still got several days till it closes. And it's just kind of an indecision candle. It's testing that 50 and getting rejected right now. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll look at Ethereum real quick. Ethereum found support. Found support again. It's trying to close this weekly above the 50 and the 200. That's okay. That's what we want to see. Now, we do have a lot of negative momentum. We need to start losing it and maybe get some hidden bullish divergence if we can get a higher low. We'll go out to the daily. And we still have divergence from here to there. We still have some divergence. We might even be considered hidden bullish divergent, depending on where, I mean, it's subjective where you pull it from, but I think we'll be okay. It's just we're wanting to cross, but like I've said, it's a lagging indicator. If we cross here in the next week or so, we already see most of the move. The nasty move is almost over. And you can look back in history, anytime it's crossed after the move, then it gets down there and wants to bounce. So I'm not worried about all the moving averages. Lagging indicators, they're garbage. All right, we'll get out of here to link. Boy, these, you talk about crosses. Look here. Cross, little more downside, boom. But as soon as that we got that bullish cross, little bit more upside, down. But we're still looking good. We're still holding on the daily. The weekly still amazing. Still amazing. Because these candles right here have not been negated. This big, huge bullish engulfing candle is not negated until we close a candle below its open price. So we're going to have to get a candle fall down to below $18.79 before that bullish engulfing candle is negated. Right now, it just looks like a higher low with bullish divergence on the weekly, one of the strongest forms and strongest time frames on the weekly. So I just don't think you can go wrong. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I want to put everything. I want to put my kids' college tuition in Link right now and let it ride. Because that's okay. Maybe they'll be great athletes and get scholarships. And they're like, hey, Dad, thanks for putting my money in Link. You know, I have $1 billion now. Or maybe not. Maybe they get mad and I give them like $8 that's left out and whatever. I'd trade a birth certificate for that bad boy right there. One more time. We'll go look at Sheeb. On this new daily candle, everything's starting to turn around and look better, like we just had a little sell-off. Let's see here. Yep. I guess my camera is on the fritz now too. Yay. It's not wanting to act right. There we go. Am I echoing now? No? Okay. Boy, I'm telling you, I think too many people's logged on my internet and acting crazy today. But right here on Shiba had another 50 test of the line. We had a big, big bullish candle come in, and it's trying to get up there and test that moving average. Bullish divergence is starting to turn positive now. We are starting to show positive momentum, and it's wanting to play out. So hopefully we get some higher lows, and really start seeing some upward price action. I think Shiba's going to still surprise everyone. I know we're up huge this year. I think we're going to surprise everyone with Sheeb. We'll look at the Elon, the Doglion Mars. We're starting to lose negative momentum. Getting ready to go positive. Bullish divergence, low, higher low. And then with that big candle coming in, we tried to get above that moving average. Then we bearished back down. People are just taking profits playing games. So right now, I think that's kind of where we are with that. Anything else? Does anybody want to see something? This stream today has just been a nightmare of technical issues. Everything I've done, went through it earlier 2 hours ago, tested it, it was fine. Got cameras freezing up, mics that don't want to act right. So it's not very fun today. I hate technical issues. I'd rather just start over. You got ICP, not even up 1%. Let's look at Dogecoin, one of everybody's faves. Dogecoin's actually doing a little better than I expected. We got a huge green candle closed just below the 200, which we've been under for a while. Right now, we're back testing that 200 moving average with a candle on the 4-hour chart. GRT, all right. So right now, Doge it's holding up. It's trying to get back above that 18-19 cent range where it needs to. We'll look at it on the daily. I mean, it looks pretty amazing on the daily. We came back down. We tested the support line. The supply line right here has been tested 1, 2, 3 times. And now we're trying to test that 50 moving average. We've got follow through price action with us turning positive on the momentum. So our bullish divergence is starting to play out. We're still good on the RSI. Hopefully it keeps going. We get some really, really nice action. On the weekly, though, Doge is killer on the weekly. We almost have right here. If we can get but right now we're testing it. If we close at 18 cents this week, if when Sunday night at 6 o'clock comes, if we close above 18 cents or above, we technically have a bullish engulfing candle with triple bullish divergence. I couldn't even be mad if somebody was like, "Oh, let's go all in on Doge." Okay, all right, cool. I'm not gonna complain about it. Everything on the charts says you can. Everything's just saying it looks great. I like Doge on multiple time scales right now. The charts are saying that it's ready for upside, that buyers are willing to push it higher. So I'm going to take it for what it tells me, and I'm going to take that swing on it. GRT. All right, hold on, Gary. Let me find it. I haven't looked it in a minute. I keep moving stuff around. Every day I'm like, oh, I'm going to organize it. I'm over here. There it is. GRT on the weekly. We fell out of the wedge. Not liking it on the weekly, but hold on. Let's see what we got going on the daily. Okay, right now, on the daily, the RSI is still in good territory. We're not oversold, not overbought, kind of neutral. And have some really nice bullish divergence wanting to play out. We've got a low and another low, and now we're getting followed through price action as it's waning. If we turn green here, I think we can run right back up to 74 cents. And from that point, we'll have to reevaluate because 74 is super strong. You can see we got that level, that level, that level. It's just a lot of price interaction with 74 cents all the way back. See how far back this goes. I mean, till its inception, we had as far back as January of 21, we had lots of interaction with that line on GRT. So on the daily, it doesn't look bad. We needed to keep going and get some follow through price action to hopefully turn the weekly around. Let's look at the 4 hour. We had some bullish divergence. It played out. Now what we need to see is a higher low and then run again and get above these moving averages. Got to get above these moving averages. That makes me feel lots better all the time. VTHOR. Let's take a look at VTHOR. On the 4 hour, the sellers aren't wanting to show up. We're testing that supply line constantly, but look what you had. You had divergence right here. Bullish divergence. Buyers came in. We had a little pop. Sellers tried to, and it pushed it down. A few sellers, but this just is so weak. Those real dots right there, so weak. There's just not a lot of people willing to sell VTHOR right now. Let's go out and look out on the daily. Looks even better because now we've made one, almost two. It didn't quite get there. So, let's not even count it. It didn't get there. It didn't touch the supply line. We made a low and technically a higher low with lower levels of negative momentum. We have bullish divergence. To me, this is my buy signal. And it was my buy signal the other day when I mentioned it. VTHOR could have some really, really massive upside to make some crazy money. At less than a penny right now, you can stack so many of them. And we get back up to just some of these relative highs of 1.5 cents, 1.75 cents, 2.5 cents. It could get pretty wild. You can make some killer money. Because one of my targets from a Fibonacci standpoint here a while back was like 5 cents. And, if you buy something under a penny to 5 cents, that's big money. So I like it on the daily. I like it better on the weekly because it's very, very discernible. You got a low, a higher low, and you're losing that negative momentum. Bullish divergence, once again, and that's what we're looking for. I keep saying it, and the stuff we're looking at keeps repeating. That's how we pick trade setups. We want to look for certain criteria, bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence. We want to see it mostly formed. I want to say 3/4 of the way from being complete. If we've got that low and that higher low, I love it. I like that combination. I want to see that right there turn positive, the MACD turn positive, and I mean, probably I'm one of those. I will go heavy, 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 heavy. I have some now. I'm already accumulating. I'll go heavy when we get back to this right here. When we touch this right here at 0.0067 again, that's when I will dump the load in it. Okay, that's when I will go all the way to the bottom. I will dig change out from under the couch seat to put it in VThor. So it looks good. Looks good. Any of the other ones? Anybody want to see anything at all before I get off here and start trying to hunt down these technical issues? We had some stocks real quick we can look over that kind of got rowdy today. I pointed out that BBIG was looking ready to pop, and it went a little nuts today. Let's get back to it. Right here. Man, I didn't see that coming. I mean, I saw upward price action, but not a candle like that. Look at that weekly candle. And it's touching that 50-day moving average. It's getting rejected right now, but the week's not over. And looks to me like you have some hidden bullish divergence because technically we have a low and the same low. I like it. I like it a lot. Right here on the daily, we have broken above the 50, and now we're testing the 200. If you see, when we're above the 200, good things happen. Find support. We need to get back above it. Right now, we're building positive momentum. So I think BBIG can have some more room to grow. We've just got to we got a couple more of these candles right here. That'd be nice, huh? We get that 530. If we get above that 535 area, you're talking about liftoff. We're talking about 12, 13 bucks per share again. But anyway, yesterday we pointed that out, and then it went some crazy 22. It was up at like 28% at one point today. ATR. It was trying to do something today too. On the 4 hour, we got a little pop earlier, and then it started falling off, but it's just sitting there waiting for some buyers to come in. We've had such a big sell-off. It's probably about due for its little pumpy pump. But you see, Apple lost 3.5% today. So many of the big tech stocks are just getting destroyed. I mean, let's look at MicroStrategies. Now, MicroStrategies bought all the Bitcoin in the world, like tons. I think they own like 230, 270,000 Bitcoin right now. Insane. They could crush your market if they wanted to, but we're hoping that Michael Saylor is what he says he is, and he's going to hold it to the end of time. But you've been out on it. They have had just weeks and weeks of selling. Let's look and see how bad they're down, because I might be interested at this point. We had a 50% retrace from the last high. 50% retrace. I'm interested in it. I'm going to keep it on my radar. I'd like to see it go a little lower. I'd like to see us retest the 410 level, and then I'd be a little more apt to place a long order in it. But it's having a death cross too, just like Bitcoin. So I wouldn't doubt that maybe. Don't quote me on this. I wouldn't doubt with the death cross right here happening on the daily and this big red candle, if we don't see some kind of little bounce tomorrow to negate all this. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Tomorrow, maybe Monday. Everybody's probably putting their short orders in right now. I wouldn't doubt us getting a nice little bounce to get us back and test that area again at like 522-ish. So don't write them off. 25% down is pretty nasty little drop today. It's $25 down. Excuse me, 5% down, $25. I'd probably be looking for a bounce. Anything else? Everything else in the stock market is so overblown. I mean, stupid expensive, and I just kind of don't want to be involved in a whole lot of them. I mean, if we can find some gems out there, and I'm searching every morning, day and night, trying to find these gems, but just can't with Apple and Amazon and Microsoft, all of them being so expensive right now for no reason other than that they was cheap a while back, and people continue to think this rally is going to last forever, knowing that we have inflation, knowing that we have monetary policy changes coming, and they're going to start pulling back the money they're pumping into the markets. Interest rates are going to go higher. I don't know if I want to be in here. The market's getting a little volatile. You think Bitcoin's volatile when you're seeing the Dow Jones swing 500 or 600 points one day, up 500 points the next. It's not supposed to be that way. Market's supposed to be slow and steady growth. Not the volatility since the COVID crash has not subsided. That's insane. The pumps and the dumps we're getting in the regular markets, it's just mind blowing. Let's look at Rivian. I love their trucks. I do. I don't like the fact that Jeff Bezos is involved in them, but it is what it is. They're too new. Looks 4 hour. You got some bullish divergence trying to play out, but then we started building again. Hopefully we'll lose that tomorrow. Obviously this was today's 7% sell-off caused that. Let's look and see what kind of retrace we've got here. Well, we had a 58% dump. I might pay attention to it. I'll look back at it. But everything I've got on the watch list is just not cracking like I want to see it. Now we can go back and look at the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and all of that. But I tell you what I want to show you first, the DXY. Look at your dollar, people. Look at it. It is very questionable right now. Just in the last couple of days, we've had a nasty little dump. Nasty. And we broke below that support level, so I'm assuming we're going to see the dollar. And this is why the dollar and crypto is completely correlated, and inversely anyway. So we're just, as the dollar's hanging out here at 94.8, there's really not much. One level right here we've tested. We've got one little high. We're getting close to testing. Maybe we test and bounce, but I feel like we're not going to hang on to that low. See, either way, we've got a little bit lower to go. I would like to see it just break down to here, lose that, maybe get a higher low, and then we start getting a dump. But this little Bart Simpson pattern, I'm not real keen on it. It's fine. I hope, I hate this, sounds terrible. I hope it goes down. I hope it goes to crap. Because when the dollar crashes, crypto just rocks out. Let me show you why. Let's look at the weekly. Here is how correlated Bitcoin, crypto, the dollar is. Right here is the crash for the dollar of 2017. This big long downtrend right here. Well, Bitcoin, as that went down, Bitcoin turned from a low and it peaked and made its high right here, January of 18. That right there was, as the dollar crashed, Bitcoin ran. And here's our bear market. If you flip these over, they look identical. And then what did we have right here? We had the dollar run up, COVID crash low right here, and Bitcoin rallied all the way to almost January, February. And then now we've had the same little choppy. They're just very, very, if the dollar's going up, Bitcoin's going down. If the dollar's going down, Bitcoin's going up. You got to pay attention. You got to find all these little details. But right now on the weekly, we're starting to build. Let me zoom in here. We're starting to build negative momentum on the MACD again. Now, some of these smaller ones, it would have been triple. It was triple bullish divergence, and it played out just not very heavily. So now we have bearish divergence leading into some sell pressure. It could be pretty nasty. It really could. We might get saved by one of these moving averages catching us, and the fact that we've got support here and run again. But I don't know. I want to see it go away. I want to see that dollar come right back down here and test that line. That right there would give us the strength we need for Bitcoin to go ahead and pump to 100,000-ish area. And then we'll get our bounce, bear market, hopefully. Hopefully that's how it plays out. Let's look at the Dow Jones. I had this posted the other day. I'm not going to erase it just yet. Let's go to the daily. To me, this is looking more and more like Wyckoff distribution. And you can look that up. I had it posted the other day with the chart down here too. It looks like we're in phase C. And we came down and tested levels. I'd like to see us come test this to make sure at some point before we leave phase C. And we can always move this over. But it's looking very, very, very distributionist. Like we're at a top and we're trying to distribute shares to anybody that will buy them. I'm not very keen on it at all. We'll get rid of all this. I just don't like it. We're too high. We're getting shortening of the thrust. The highs are getting lower. They're not as exacerbated. And that's just on the daily. The weekly, we're trying to get some kind of weird bullish divergence playing out. But we're struggling to stay above these highs. We've already tested it. Dipped again. You got NASDAQ and all that stuff. Oh, there's one of my Wyckoff distribution charts. And it's not really formed enough for that one to matter right now. But we are almost a little double toppy-ish. Then we had this huge bearish engulfing candle coming down. We're holding that line right now, but we're still building negative momentum on the weekly. We very easily can see this break down, and if we break down from where we're at, it's only a matter of time. I say we see 13,991 again, and what kind of percentage down is that? It's probably, 18, 20? 16.64, 16.5, 17%. That'd be a pretty nasty little pullback. So that's it. Anybody want to see any stocks, charts, anything else at all? I have been on here for how many minutes? 37 minutes. Probably the first 3 or 4 was dead for our mic issues. But if nobody's got any other requests, that's it. If nobody's got anything they want me to look at and possibly try to give you perspective on that you're wanting to get in or you're not in, I guess I'll see you next time then. And all of my who I call VIPs, people that get direct messages from me and trade setups, I appreciate your loyalty. Appreciate you coming on the streams, watching all my content, following me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all the other social medias. Appreciate it very much so. And I will see you guys. What is this, karaoke? Hodar, are you requesting that I look at karaoke? Like, are we going to do karaoke on here? Or is there a stock name karaoke? Is this what, are you saying that there's a crypto name? I bet there is. Before I get off here, just because she mentioned it, let's see if there is a crypto called karaoke. I bet it is. It doesn't look like it. But it was not requesting songs. Sing your way out. What do you want me to sing, Mrs. Dyer? What would you like me to sing? Go ahead. Requesting songs. Okay, request songs. I'll sing them too. I don't care. One more glass of this, I'll be singing songs, whether it be here, the deck. I'm ready for spring. Ready to open up the Redneck Riviera again. Give me some George. No, that's not what this is about. I'm going to need you to. Okay, you can get off here. You don't have to be one of my followers, subscriber. I can live without it. I'm not going to break out a guitar and start entertaining because I suck. Okay. Anyway, other than what I like to call hopium,